Hello, in today's video we're just going to watch a bit of a time lapse of me setting up the first 2 pages of the comic that I'm working on. Currently I don't have a name for this project, but to give you a little bit of a synopsis, it kind of goes something along the lines of, after a devastating breakup with her long-term partner, Margot, a graphic designer, decides to uproot her entire life for a fresh start and some solitude. But this new land, with its stark, mystical landscapes and ancient lore, has different plans for her. Margot quickly learns that her emotional turmoil is not just her own to control, it manifests physically, drawing her into a world where mythical beings represent stages of grief. So yeah, that's the quick synopsis of what I'm planning. Obviously there's a bit more that goes into it and it'll be fleshed out a little further, and I also don't want to give too much more away, as I want to leave surprises for when people are able to actually read the book for themselves. But in saying all that, this is when I'm really truly starting to get serious about getting this book completed, really. I've got, as you may know, the Thought Bubble Comic Fest at the end of the year that I really want to have this completed by, so that I can have a couple of printed copies for people to buy. So there's a bit of a time crunch now. So I am getting started, and that means getting some of the first pages a little to completion point, so that I can get a vibe of what I want to do color-wise and character design-wise. Obviously, going forward, I'm not going to be doing every page from thumbnail to sketch to clean line work to colored to adding text all in one sitting for each page. I kind of want to do a run through of all the thumbnails so I know where I'm going. Then I can go through with all the sketching, and then, so on and so forth for all the different stages. But like I said, I just want to get these first 2 pages to a point that I can envisage what the rest of the book could look like. These first 2 pages are the setup of Margot arriving in this new country and arriving at the airport, where she's greeted by her driver, who is meant to be picking up her and her now ex-boyfriend Freddie. And that kind of sets the scene for the tone of, the emotion and the attitude that Margot is arriving in, and you're getting to know her in this state, which is, not how she usually is, but she's really going through it. And then we kind of go on the journey with her as she comes to terms with the ending of a really serious relationship that she thought was going somewhere, and the process that you go through, especially with your first heartbreak, of, coming to terms with it, going through the grief, dealing with that loss of the future that you now have. You have to reimagine what your future looks like after such a massive breakup. And I just wanted to kind of compile all those emotions that I feel like are very relatable. Not everyone, but a lot of people go through that first serious breakup that kind of changes the trajectory of where they're heading in a pretty impactful way. So yeah, I don't really have too much else to say at this point. Obviously, I want to do some more character designing, get some more pages up and running. I'm thinking of even starting a blog on my website that will more thoroughly document the different stages of creating this book, because not only do I think that could be interesting for other people to read along with and keep up to date with, but I'm such a sucker for documenting things that I do. And so I think for me, that would just be fun to have somewhere where I can just word dump and, let let it all out without this project taking over my whole YouTube channel. Like, I feel like a little blog post could be a good spot for this project to live more fully on. But yeah, there are some things that, like, color-wise, I'm not quite convinced that I like the color. I'm not sure if it's just the type of greens and blues I've picked, or if I've just been reading other comic books lately that have influenced how I want mine to look, and now this already feels like outdated to me. But I can already tell that that is a struggle I'm going to come up against with a lot, especially as this process will take multiple months, is every time I look back at older stuff that I've done, I already feel like I've improved so much further that I want to go back and redo it, but I'm just going to truck on. And like a lot of comic book artists say, like, don't make your first one your, you know, big superstar story and wanting to get it exactly perfect. Like, just make something. You'll learn everything as you make it. And this story, although it is dear to my heart, it's one that I'm willing to kind of sacrifice in the pursuit of learning how to create a comic book or a graphic novel. So, yes. Also, this is all being done on Procreate. I know that Clip Paint Studio seems to be a popular one as well for people to create comics on, and also Photoshop is an obvious one. But this is the software that I have on my tablet at the moment, so we're going with it. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Catch you next week. Bye.